I'll keep that up. And this is his swimming outfit, but also the outfit that he wears when he gets bathed, which is why I did these curls, because in my mind, this is what your curls would look like when your mom washed your hair. Like all your curls are kind of curled together because they're wet. So that's why I did this little afro, because that's what I think of when I see it. This is his hot weather outfit, which is what he's wearing about now because it's summer. And I put his hair back into a ponytail. Look at his little jumper and his sneakers. He has glasses because he's a cool guy. Come on, he's a cat. He's cool. He's been cool all his life. It's his cold weather outfit. Look at it. It's so cool. Look at it. Look at the hat. I'm saying with the gold and the yellow. I mean the red and the yellow, because he's a cat. So this is Nikki. I'm gonna switch between Nikki and Val because they're twins. So this is Nikki's first everyday look. These are, see, Nikki looks just like her dad. If Noelle still lived with us, you'd see that. Nikki's dad is Noelle. I told you guys about this before. Noelle is one of the 4 Sims I created, because when Sims started adding more creative outlets, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm going to have a house full of just creatives, right? They're going to live like in a loft, and they're just going to all be creative, and they all going to have like their creative thing that they do. Then when I got Business and Hobby, which is a plan I came up with when they did Business and Hobbies about 2 years ago, I put it in place just like last month. I know, right? So cool. Love when things come to fruition. And so I created a household. It has 3 girls. It's uploaded to my gallery too. It's uploaded to my gallery. They're awesome. And I've helped them hone some of their skills, and I re-uploaded them again. So you can have them at like a level skill 10. Yes, a level 10 skill of what their chosen activity is. Or you can take them before they level up anything and choose to change whatever you want to change. So that's 4 of them in a household, 3 girls, 1 guy. I, Rocky Darling in the game, have personally mentored all 4 of them. And when I was mentoring Noelle, his name is Noelle Valencia. He's the male. He's the only male in the house. When I was mentoring him, they kind of fell for each other, right? And I talked about how I tried to stay away from our relationship because I'm like, we're mentor and mentee. That's inappropriate. But there was no avoiding it. Like they just really cared for one another. And I was like, okay, I didn't plan on getting married in this stage because I was just going to stay focused on my career, and thus doing what I would do if I wasn't married and have friends, which is furthering my career, chasing all of my professional ambitions, making friends, building legacy, all that good stuff. Connecting and creating and all that fun stuff. So that's what I was doing. But then I was like, I could see me married to Noelle, like once you meet your husband, then you could see it, right? So Noelle, but then I got the royalty and legacy pack, and then I had another ambition, which meant, I wasn't going to cheat on Noelle. That's crazy. So I broke up with Noelle. And in my mind, I was like, I'll just go back later after I have my children and their heirs and stuff like that. But then Noelle came over because he's always had a key to my place. So he comes over, he just pops in whenever he wants. He doesn't even knock, he just walks in. And then I was like, oh, we could be like secret lovers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I had a dynasty as well. And if all of my heirs were going to Ty's dynasty to be the heir of the Capp dynasty, I would have no heirs in my dynasty, which means I couldn't grow my prestige. I was going to stay capped where I was because there's no family. I have no family in this save. She has no siblings, no parents, nothing like that. So, your dynasty is just your family. So I was like, okay, me and Noelle is good because I need children, right? So we had children and she got pregnant. And at first it was just like, it was a question of, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? Am I going to be like, these Noelle's kids? But I was like, yes, honesty is the best policy. So I noted that my daughters, Nikki and Valencia, were Noelle's daughters, and when they were about toddlers, Noelle would come over and visit before they were toddlers, but around when they were toddlers, when he'd come over and visit, he'd spend a lot of time with them. And at that point, they started to get really attached to him. And I was like, wait a second, this is their dad. And he's not actually in their life because he doesn't live here. So then I moved him in. And everything was going great for a long time. But Noelle is a jealous type and his exploration is off. So I couldn't change his mind about being jealous, right? One day he got really jealous because it was like a Valentine's Day or it was our anniversary, me and my husband. And we're spending together. Noelle was there and he was just burning up. It was New Year's Eve. And we kissed for New Year's Eve and stuff like that. And we were like flirting, things like that. And Noelle was there. And no matter how many times I tried to send him away, he wouldn't leave. He just wouldn't leave. He was so upset. And then that faltered our relationship. And then everything went bad from there. Everything went bad from there. The relationship romantically was just, it was bad. And then my royal advisor, my noble advisor, who was my first royal best friend, Jamara, For the Durand family, she comes over and she flirts with Noelle in my face. This is my best friend, my good friend, my noble advisor. I've had her back and her family's back, and this girl flirts with him in my face. I mean, I wasn't in the room, but still, she flirted with him, and I was like, yo, is she serious? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And me personally, I don't go for that. So, like, yes, I'm entirely married, but at the same time, we don't do this around here. So me and Noel broke up. And it was upsetting because he had a tattoo dedicated to me, and his tattoo wasn't a friendship tattoo. His tattoo was a romantic tattoo because we were romantically involved, which means he felt bitterness every time he looked at it. So I let him stay with the girls until they were teenagers. They're teenagers now, so even when things broke up when they were adolescents, he stayed in the house. So if he was here, you see that they look alike. They have his coloring, his brown hair, his eye color. He has light brown eyes. They look just like him. So Nicola is her first name is V for Valencia, right? I went with the N because his name was Noel. So, and we call her Nikki for short. And then for Valentina, the C is for the Cap. That's what the C is for, from the Cap Dynasty. And Valentina because her dad's name is Valencia. Because I didn't know if he'd be in their life because he didn't live with us, and I wanted him in their names because that he is on the birth certificate that is their dad. And we call Valencia, we call Valentina Valen for short. Valen, and sometimes I shorten it to Val. So we're gonna go through my twin girls. We're gonna go through their everyday outfits. Since the teenager palette is the exact same as young adult, and elder, I wanted them to look as much like teens as possible. So that meant skirts with stockings and all that stuff. And I stayed within their color palette. Nikki, their bedroom is green colored, but Nikki likes a pink. She loves a pink and she loves to wear white. And white is our Dynasty thing, and so is brown. And Val leans more towards the browns and the oranges. So, but I wanted to play that up a little bit on both sides because I decided to make those our Dynasty colors since the girls like those colors. So this is her first look. I love the stockings. I matched the stockings to her top. So the top was really cute. It was a button-up blouse, which is very Nikki, but also kind of like playful and young because Nikki's a teen. This is her skirt because Nikki's definitely a skirt and heels girly when Val loves a pair of kicks. So that's their bag. And her nails are golden. I did gold for her nails, of course. And my girls, it was at first when they were babies, I knew who the heir was going to be for sure. I figured it would be Val because her temperament was just a bit calmer than Nikki. Then they became adolescents, and Nikki just kind of really stepped into the role, and then it was difficult. I didn't know who to choose. And so right now, but then when they became teenagers, Val asked me to be the heir, so I made her the heir. But I'm realizing both of them are solid enough to rule their own dynasties, and my dynasty is called a garden, right? And at some point your trees grow and they blossom and they father their own seeds, right? They drop pine cones, stuff like that. They bear their own fruits. And I was like, you know what, once they're young adults, I'm gonna give them both their own dynasty to run because I can see them running their own dynasty. I'm gonna give them their own dynasty because that's how it goes. You garden your children and you help them blossom and they grow, and you send them out into the world to thus then build their own garden. So I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. So Nikki wants to be the heir right now, but Val's the heir. So Val's gonna go out and do her dynasty first, and then Nikki will be the heir. So that way both of them have been heirs at some point, because I think they both deserve to be heirs. To the point that I was thinking of having a third child, so I didn't have to choose between my twins, because it was really difficult. And so I just a little bit of makeup. As I said, I don't do too much with the teeny boppers. So I needed a bit more color, but she serves face without it, which is why I don't feel like my girls need makeup, because they serve face, honey. This is Nikki's second everyday look. I went with the pink for her. The cute little top, the jeans, all of that. Her nails are pink and white. This specific nail set comes from the wedding pack, and I think it's the only nail set that comes from the wedding pack. Only white. And as you can see, my crest for our dynasty is a rose. So they both wear the rose royalty legacy ring. Very cute. Cute little sandals. This necklace is unlocked once you're level 10 in nobility, which I am because I'm the monarch. So they have access to that. I gave her pearls. This is a hairstyle she wore even when she was a kid. Nikki's been keeping her hair long all her life. It grew out long when she was an adolescent. Val kept her hair at medium length as an adolescent and cut it when she's a teenager. So Val's hair is short. And Nikki wears her hair long. This is her third everyday look. I wanted something that definitely was like when we go somewhere and it's like noble and focused, noble, Dynasty focused. She needed an everyday look for that. And I love this. I love this so much. I think it's so cute. And of course we did pink because my girlies love pink. My girlie loves her pink. And I love that for her. The heels are soft pink and matches the stripes in the dress. And then for V, this is our first everyday look. I love this. The top, the boots, and the skirt all come from Business and Hobbies. And the girls kind of dress like their dad. Not Nikki a lot because she's more feminine and more girly and cutesy in her attire. Val is a bit more... sporty isn't the word. I'd say chic. She's more chic and modern, and there's another one there because she's more of a flat wearer. Like you see her boots have a small heel, And it's like, yeah, I love this because the color palette actually matches. I believe these two are meant to be paired together because the little underwear line matches her top. I gave her a little brown flickle over the eye and the coronation crown. And it's like, look, her haircut's so cute. She's so cute. And she loves her brown. Seeing her nails are brown. Love that. So cute. The stockings are from Royalty and Legacy. This is her second everyday look. This is actually one of my favorite looks for sure. When I was in high school, I did wear a skirt and I did have the what are those expansion bands called that you wear? That like what's his name that Urkel would wear? I forget what they're called, but these right here, these that wrap around. I did wear those in high school, especially when we had like our nerd day. Like you dress up for certain things, and we had a nerd day where you're supposed to come dressed as a nerd. And I just love this. I love this top. This top, you see how like the buttons are a skull? This top is from the Life and Death pack. I just love it. I love it so much. And it's like, yeah, look at the nails and the watch. And it's like, it's just perfect. Look at the bracelets. And I added her some socks over the stockings with the sneakers. That's also in Business and Hobbies. Like, come on, this is just too cute. It's just too cute. I love this look so much. And then we needed a noble look for her as well. The short hairstyle does make her look like an older woman because traditionally in the 90s, women in like their mid 30s to 40s and 50s were at some point doing the short hairstyle. So that's just what it reminds me of. But I think it's really cute. I think it looks I think it's stunning, especially with this crown. And I love how they cut the cut of this dress. I love it. It reminds me of Nigerian culture. I am also Nigerian. And I love the gloves. I wanted to put the gloves with something. And I felt like the cream went well with the brown. For sure. Okay, this is Val's first formal look. Hold on. Let's go back to Nikki. This is Nikki's first formal look, right? Nikki leans towards the white and the gold with no problem. Val's not crazy about the white gold. If she can do more of a brown, she will. Which I don't mind, because even though they're twins, I let them have their individualism. Even though up until them being when they were adolescents, I would have them wear the exact same thing, just in whatever color palette that they wanted. But some outfits were just completely different. The top stuff like that was just different because sometimes the top would be the style of one, but truly not the style of the other. So, and I added the gloves. Love that. Those gloves, I think, are from the Vampire pack, if I'm remembering correctly. And I love this necklace too. I love that necklace. Stunning. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is her second formal look. I believe I gave her a long French tip. Yes, I did. A long French tip. Love a French tip. A French tip is so classy. Period. Never changes.